Attention between eyebrows. Let mind be before thought. Let form fill with breath essence to the top of the head and their shower as light. When in worldly activity, keep attention between two breaths, and so practicing, in a few days, be born anew. With intangible breath in center of forehead, as this reaches heart at the moment of sleep, have direction over dreams and over death itself. With utmost devotion, center on the two junctions of breath and know the knower. Lie down as dead, enraged in wrath, stay so, or stare without moving an eyelash, or suck something and become the sucking.
One of the great Greek philosophers, Pythagoras, when reached in Egypt to enter a school, a secret esoteric school of mystics, he was refused. And Pythagoras was one of the best minds ever produced. He couldn't understand. He applied again and again. But he was told that unless he goes through a particular training of fasting and breathing, he cannot be allowed to enter the school. Pythagoras is reported to have said that I have come for knowledge, not for any sort of discipline. But the school authorities said, we cannot give you knowledge unless you are different. And really, we are not interested in knowledge at all. We are interested in actual experience. And no knowledge is knowledge unless it is lived and experienced. So you will have to go on a 40-day fast and continuously breathing in a certain manner with a certain awareness on certain points. There was no way. So Pythagoras had to pass through this training. 40 days fasting, breathing, aware, attentive. He was allowed to enter the school. It is said that Pythagoras said that you are not allowing Pythagoras, I am a different man. I am reborn. And you were right and I was wrong. Because then my whole standpoint was intellectual. Through this purification, my center of being has changed. From the intellect it has come down to the heart. Now I can feel things. Before this training, I could only understand through the intellect, through the head. Now I can feel. Now truth is not a concept to me, but a life. It is not going to be a philosophy, rather an experience, existential. What was the training he went through? This fifth technique was the technique that was given to Pythagoras. It was given in Egypt, but the technique is Indian. Fifth technique, attention between eyebrows. Let mind be before thought. Let form fill with breath essence to the top of the head, and there sour as light. This was the technique given to Pythagoras. Pythagoras went with this technique to Greece, and really he became the fountainhead, the source of all mysticism in the West. He is the father of all mysticism in the West. This technique is one of the very deep methods. Try to understand this. Attention between the eyebrows. Physiology says that between the two eyebrows, modern physiology, scientific research says, between the two eyebrows is the gland, which is the most mysterious part in the body. This gland, they call it pineal gland, is the third eye of the Tibetans. Shiva Netra, the eye of the Shiva of the Tantra. Between these two eyes, there is a third eye, existent but non-functioning. It is there, it can function any moment, but it is not functioning naturally. You have to do something about it to open it. It is not blind, it is simply closed. This technique is to open the third eye. Attention between the eyebrows. Close your eyes and focus your both eyes just in the middle of the two eyebrows, as if you are looking by your both eyes just in the middle with closed eyes. Give total attention to it. And this is one of the simplest methods of being attentive. You cannot pay attention to anybody, any part of the body so easily, because this gland absorbs attention like anything. If you give attention to it, your both eyes become hypnotized with the third eye. They become fixed. They cannot move. If you are trying to be attentive of any other part in the body, it is difficult. This third eye catches attention, forces attention. It is magnetic for attention. So all the methods all over the world have used it. It is the simplest to train attention. Because not only you are trying to be attentive, but the gland itself helps you. It is magnetic. Your attention is drawn, forcibly, absorbed. It is said in the old tantra scriptures that for the third eye, attention is food. It is hungry. It is hungry for lives and lives. If you pay attention to it, it becomes alive. It comes alive. the food is given to it. And once you know that attention is the food, once you feel that your attention is magnetically drawn, attracted, pulled by the gland itself, attention is not a difficult thing then. One has only to know the right point. So just close your eyes when you are trying to find out, just close your eyes. Let your both eyes move just in the middle. Feel the point. When you are near the point, suddenly your eyes will become fixed. And it will be difficult to move them. Then know you have caught the right point. Attention between the eyebrows. Let mind be before thought. If this attention is there for the first time, you will come to experience a strange phenomena. For the first time, you will feel thoughts running before you. You will become the witness. Just as if on a film screen, thoughts are running and you are a witness. Once your attention is focused at the third eye center, you become immediately the witness of thoughts. Ordinarily, you are not the witness. You are identified with thoughts. If anger is there, you become anger. If a thought moves, you are not the witness. You become one with the thought, identified, and you move with it. You become the thought. You take the form of the thought. When sex is there, you become sex. When anger is there, you become anger. When greed is there, you become greed. Any thought moving becomes identified with you. You don't have any gap between you and the thought. But focused at the third eye, suddenly you become a witness. Through the third eye, you become the witness. Through the third eye, you can see thoughts running like clouds in the sky or people moving on the street. You are sitting in your window, looking in the sky or at the street. You are not identified. You are aloof, a watcher on the hills. Different. Now, if anger is there, you can look at it as an object. Now, you don't feel that you are angry. You feel you are surrounded by anger. A cloud of anger has come around you. But you are not the anger. And if you are not the anger, anger becomes impotent. It cannot affect you. You remain untouched. The anger will come and go, and you will remain centered in yourself. This fifth technique is the technique of finding the witness. Attention between the eyebrows, let mind be before thought. Now look at your thoughts. Now encounter your thoughts. Let form fill with breath, ascends to the top of the head, and there sour as light. Let form fill with breath, ascends to the top of the head, and there sour as light. When attention is focused at the third eye center between the two eyebrows, two things happen. One, suddenly you become a witness. This can happen in both the ways. You become a witness and you will be centered at the third eye. Try to be a witness. Whatsoever is happening, try to be a witness. You are ill. The body is aching and painful. You have misery, suffering, whatsoever. Be a witness to it. Whatsoever is happening, don't identify yourself with it. Be a witness, an observer. Then, if witnessing becomes possible, you will be focused in the third eye. Vice versa also. If you are focused in the third eye, you will become a witness. These two things are part of one. So the first thing, by being centered in the third eye, will be the arising of the witnessing self. Now you can encounter your thoughts. This will be the first thing. And the second thing will be, now you can feel this subtle, delicate vibration of breathing. Now you can feel the form of breathing, the very essence of breathing. First try to understand what is meant by the form, the essence of breathing. While you are breathing, you are not only breathing air. Science says you are breathing only air. Just oxygen, hydrogen and other gases and their combined form, air. You are breathing air. But tantra says air is just the vehicle, not the real thing. You are breathing prana, vitality. Air is just the medium. Prana is the content. You are breathing prana, not only air. Modern science is still not able to find out whether there is something like prana. But some researchers have felt something mysterious. Breathing is not simply air. It has been felt by many modern researchers also. Particularly one name is to be mentioned. Wilhelm Reich, one German psychologist, who called it orgone energy, the same, prana. He says that while you are breathing, air is just the content, just the container, and there is a mysterious content, orgone, or prana, or elan vital, the Bergsonian name, elan vital. But that is very subtle. Really, that is not material. Air is the material thing. The container is material. But something subtle, non-material, is moving through it. The effects of it can be felt. When you are with a very vital person, you will feel a certain vitality arising in you. If you are with a very sick person, you will feel sucked. Something has been taken out of you. When you go to the hospital, why you feel so tired? You are being sucked from everywhere. The whole hospital atmosphere is ill. And everyone there needs more elan vital, more prana. So if you are there, suddenly your prana begins to flow out of you. Why you feel suffocated sometimes when you're in a crowd. Your prana is being sucked. While you are alone under the sky in the morning, under the trees, suddenly you feel a vitality in you. The prana. Each one needs a particular space. If that space is not given, your prana is sucked. Wilhelm Reich did many experiments, but he was thought a madman. Science has its own superstitions. And science is a very orthodox thing. Science cannot feel yet that there is anything more than air. But India has been experimenting with it for centuries. You may have heard, you may have even seen someone going into samadhi, underground samadhi, for days together, with no air penetrating. One man went into such underground samadhi in Egypt in 1880 for 40 years. Those who had buried him all died, because he was to come out of his samadhi in 1920, 40 years afterwards. In 1920, no one believed that they are going to find him alive. But he was found alive. He lived afterwards for 10 years more. He had become completely pale, but he was alive. And there was no possibility of air reaching to him. He was asked by medical doctors and others, what is the secret of it? He said, we don't know. We only know this, that prana can enter and flow anywhere. Air cannot penetrate, but prana can penetrate. Once you know that you can suck prana directly without the container, then you can go into samadhi for centuries even. By being focused in the third eye, suddenly you can observe the very essence of breath. Not breath, but the very essence of breath, prana. And if you can observe the essence of breath, prana, you are on the point from where the jump, the breakthrough happens. This sutra says, let form fill with breath essence to the top of the head. And when you come to feel the essence of breathing, prana, just imagine that your head is filled with it. Just imagine, no need of any effort. I will explain it to you, how imagination works. When you are focused at the third eye center, imagine and the thing happens, then and there. Now your imagination is just important. You go on imagining, nothing happens. But sometimes, unknowingly, in ordinary life also, things happen. You are imagining about your friend, and suddenly there is a knock on the door. you say this is a coincidence. The friend has come. Sometimes, just like coincidences, your imagination works. But whenever this happens, now try to remember and analyze the whole thing. Whenever this happens, that you feel that your imagination has become actual, go inside and observe. Somewhere your attention must have been near the third eye. Whenever this coincidence happens, it is not a coincidence. It looks, because you don't know the secret science. Your mind must have moved unknowingly near the third eye center. If your attention is in the third eye, just imagination is enough to create any phenomena. This sutra says when you are focused between the eyebrows and you can feel the very essence of breathing, let form fill. Now imagine that this essence is filling your whole head, particularly the top of the head, Sahasrara. And the moment you imagine, it will be filled. Top of the head and there sour as light. And this prana essence is sourding from the top of your head as light, and it will begin to sour. And you will be under the sour of light, refreshed, reborn, completely become new. That is what inner rebirth means. So two things. First, focused at the third eye, you will become a witness. Second, focused at the third eye, your imagination becomes potent, powerful. That's why so much insistence has been given. Before doing these practices, be pure. Purity is not a moral concept for tantra. Purity is significant because if you are focused at the third eye and your mind is impure, your imagination can become dangerous. Dangerous to you, dangerous to others. If you are thinking to murder someone and this idea is in the mind, just imagining may kill the man. That's why so much insistence on being pure first. Pythagoras was said to go through fast, through a particular breathing, this breathing. Because you are traveling into a very dangerous land. Because wherever there is power, there is danger. And if the mind is impure, whenever you will get power, your impure thoughts will take hold of it immediately. You have imagined many times to kill. But the imagination cannot work, fortunately. If it works, if it is actualized immediately, then you will become dangerous. Not only to others, for yourself also, because so many times you have thought to commit suicide. If the mind is focused at the third eye, just thinking of suicide will become suicide. You will not have any time to change. Immediately it will happen. You might have observed someone being hypnotized. And when someone is hypnotized, the hypnotizer can say anything, and immediately the hypnotized person follows. Howsoever absurd the order, howsoever irrational, and sometimes even impossible, but the hypnotized person follows it. What is happening? This fifth technique is at the base of all hypnotism. Whenever someone is being hypnotized, he is told to focus his eyes at a particular point, at some light, at some dot on the wall or anything, or at the eyes of the hypnotizer. When you focus your eyes at any particular point, within 3 minutes, your inner attention begins to flow towards the third eye. And the moment your inner attention begins to flow towards the third eye, your face begins to change. And the hypnotizer knows when your face is changing. Your face suddenly loses all vitality. It becomes dead, as if deep asleep. Immediately the hypnotizer knows your face has lost the luster, the aliveness. It means now attention is being sucked by the third eye center. Your face has become dead. The whole energy is running towards the third eye center. Immediately the hypnotizer knows now anything said will happen. He says, now you are falling into deep sleep. You will fall immediately. He says, now you are becoming unconscious. You will become unconscious immediately. Now anything can be done. If he says, now you have become Napoleon or Hitler, you will become. You will begin to behave like a Napoleon. You will begin to talk like a Napoleon. Your gestures will change. Your unconscious will take the order and will create the actuality. If you are suffering from a disease, now it can be ordered that the disease has disappeared and the disease will disappear. Or any new disease can be created. Just by putting an ordinary stone from the street on your hand, the hypnotist can say, this is fire on your hand. You will feel intense heat. Your hand will get burnt. Not only in the mind, actually your skin will be burnt. You will have a burning sensation. What is happening? There is no fire. Ordinary stone, cold. How this burning happens? You are focused at the third eye center. Your imagination is being suggested by the hypnotist. It is being actualized. If the hypnotist says, now you are dead, you will die immediately. Your heart has stopped. It will stop. This happens because of the third eye. In the third eye, imagination and actualization are not two things. Imagination is the fact. Imagine and it is so. There is no gap between dream and reality. There is no gap between dream and reality. Dream and it will become real. That's why Sankara has said, this whole world is nothing but the dream of the divine. dream of the divine, because the divine is centered in the third eye always, eternally. So whatsoever the divine dreams, it becomes real. If you are also centered in the third eye, whatsoever you dream will become real. Sariputta came to Buddha, meditated deeply. Then many things, many visions started coming, as it happens with everyone who goes in deep meditation. He began to see heavens, he began to see hells, he began to see angels, gods, demons, and they were actual, so real, that he came running to Buddha and he said, such and such a vision has come to me. And Buddha says, nothing, just dreams, just dreams. But Sariputta said, they are so real, how can I say they are dreams? When I see a flower in my vision, it is more real than any flower in the world. The fragrance is there. I can touch it. When I see you, he told to Buddha, it is more real than you are here, just before me. So how I can differentiate what is real and what is dream? So Buddha says, now that you are centered in the third eye, dream and reality are one. Whatsoever you are dreaming will be real. And the vice versa also. One who is centered in the third eye, his dreams will become real, and for him the whole reality will become just a dream. Because when your dream can become real, you know there is no basic difference between dream and reality. So when Sankara says that this whole world is just Maya, a dream of the divine, it is not a theoretical proposition. It is not a philosophical statement. It is rather the inner experience of one who is focused in the third eye. When you are focused in the third eye, just imagine that the essence of prana is showering from the top of the head. Just as if you are sitting under a tree and flowers are showering. Or just you are under the sky and suddenly a cloud begins to shower. Or just you are sitting in the morning and the sun rises and rays begin to shower. Imagine. And immediately there is a shower of light falling down from your top of your head. This shower recreates you, gives you a new birth. You are reborn. Sixth technique, when in worldly activity, keep attentive between the two breaths, and so practicing in a few days be born anew. When in worldly activity, keep attentive between the two breaths. Forget breaths, keep attentive between. One breath has come. Before it returns, before it is being exhaled out, the gap, the interval. One breath has gone out, before it is taken in again, the gap. In worldly activity, keep attentive between the two breaths, and so practicing, in a few days be born anew. But this has to be done continuously. This sixth technique has to be done continuously. That's why it is mentioned when in worldly activity. Whatsoever you are doing, keep your attention in the gap between the two breaths. But it must be practiced while in activity. We have discussed one technique just similar, with only this difference that this has to be practiced while in worldly activity. Don't practice it in isolation. Just practice it while you are doing something else. You are eating. Go on eating and be attentive of the gap. You are walking, go on walking and be attentive of the gap. You are going to sleep, lie down, let sleep come, you go on being attentive of the gap. Why? In activity. Because activity distracts the mind. Activity calls your attention again and again. Don't be distracted. Be fixed at the gap. And don't stop activity. Let the activity continue. You will have two layers of existence, doing and being. We have two layers of existence, the world of doing and the world of being, the circumference and the center. Go on working on the periphery, on the circumference, don't stop it. But go on also working attentively on the center. What will happen? Your activity will become acting. As if you are playing a part. You are playing a part, for example, in a drama. You have become Ram, or you have become Christ. You go on acting as Christ or as Ram. And still you remain yourself. In the center, you know who you are. On the periphery, you go on acting Rama, Christ or anyone. You know you are not Ram. You are acting. You know who you are. Your attention is centered in you. Your activity goes on the circumference. If this method is practiced, your whole life will become a long drama. You will be an actor, playing roles, but constantly centered in the gap. If you forget the gap, then you are not playing roles, you have become the role. Then it is not a drama. You have mistaken it as life. That is what we have done. Everyone is thinking that he is living a life. It is not life. It is just a role. A part which has been given to you by the society, by the circumstances, by the culture, tradition, country, situation. You have been given a role. You are playing it. We become identified with it. To break that identification, this technique. India has many names. Krishna is one of the greatest actors. He is constantly centered in himself and playing. Playing many plays, many games, but absolutely non-serious. Seriousness comes from identification. If you become really Ram in the drama, then there are bound to be problems. Those problems will come out of your seriousness. Then Sita is stolen. You may get a heart attack. And the whole play would have to be stopped. If you really become Ram, heart attack is certain, even heart failure. But you are just an actor. Sita is stolen. Nothing is stolen. You will go back your home and you will sleep peacefully. Not even in dream. You will feel that Sita is stolen. When really Sita was stolen, Ram himself was weeping, crying, and asking the trees where my Sita has gone, who has taken her. But this is the point to understand. If Rama is really weeping and asking the trees, he has become identified. He is no more Ram. He is no more a divine person. This is the point to remember, that for Ram, his real life was also just a part. You have seen other actors playing Rama, but Rama himself was just playing a part on a greater stage, of course. So India has a very beautiful story about it. I think that story is unique. Nowhere in any part of the world such a thing exists. It is said that Valmiki wrote Ramayana before Rama was born. And then Rama had to follow. So really the first act of Ramayana was also just a drama. The story was written before Rama was born. And then Rama had to follow what he can do. When a man like Valmiki writes this story, Rama has to follow. So everything was fixed in a way. Sita was to be stolen. And the war has to be fought. If you can understand this, then you can understand the theory of destiny, bhagya, fate. It has a very deep meaning. And the meaning is, if you take it, that everything is fixed for you, your life becomes a drama. You are playing Ram's act in the drama. You cannot change it. Everything is fixed, even your dialogue. If you say something to Sita, it is just repeating something which is fixed. You cannot change it. If life is taken as fixed, you are going to die on a particular day. It is fixed. And when you will be dying, you will be beeping. It is fixed. and such persons will be around you. It is fixed. If everything is fixed, everything becomes a drama. If everything is fixed, it means you are just to enact it. You are not asked to live it. You are just asked to enact it. This technique, sixth technique, is to make your life a psychodrama. Just a play. You are focused in the gap between two breaths, and life moves on the periphery. Your attention is in the center, then your attention is not really on the periphery. Just sub-attention. Just it happens somewhere near your attention. You can feel it. You can know it. But it is not significant. As if it is not happening to you. I will repeat this. If you practice this sixth technique, your whole life will be as if it is not happening to you, it is happening to someone else. Seventh technique, with intangible breath in center of forehead. As this reaches heart at the moment of sleep, have direction over dreams and over death itself. More and more we are entering deeper layers. With intangible breath in center of forehead, if you have known the third eye, then you know the intangible breath, the invisible prana. In the center of forehead, and if you know the showering, that the energy, the light showers, as this reaches heart, when the shower will reach your heart at the moment of sleep, have direction over dreams and over death itself. Take this technique in three parts. One, you must be able to feel the prana in breath, the intangible part of it, the invisible part of it, the immaterial part of it. It comes if you are attentive between the eyebrows. It comes easily. If you are attentive in the gap, then too it comes, but a little more uneasily. If you are aware of the center at your navel, where breath comes and touches and goes out, it comes still with less ease. The easiest point to know the invisible part of breath is to be centered at the third eye. But wherever you are centered, it comes. You begin to feel the prana flowing in you. If you can feel the prana flowing in you, you can know when you are going to die. Before 6 months of your day of death, you begin to know. If you can feel the invisible part of breath. Why? So many saints declare their day of death. It is easy. Because if you can see the content of the breath, prana flowing in you, the moment the process reverses, you can feel. Before you die, 6 months before you die, the process reverses. Prana begins to flow from you out. Then the breath is not taking it in, rather on the contrary, the breath is taking it out. The same breath you cannot feel. Because you don't know the invisible part, you know only the visible. You know only the vehicle. The vehicle will be the same. But now the breath is carrying prana in, leaving it there. Then the vehicle goes back vacant. Again is filled with the prana, comes in. So the ingoing breath and the outgoing breath are not the same, remember. The ingoing breath and outgoing breath are the same as vehicles. But the incoming breath is filled with prana and the outgoing breath is empty. You have sucked prana and the breath has become empty. The reverse happens when you are nearing death. The incoming breath comes prana-less, empty. Because your body cannot suck prana from the cosmos. You are going to die, there is no need. The whole process has reversed. And when the breath goes out, it takes your prana out. One who has begun to see the invisible can know his day of death immediately, before 6 months. The process reverses. This sutra is very, very significant. With intangible breath in center of forehead, as this reaches the heart at the moment of sleep, have direction over dreams and over death itself. While you are falling into sleep, this technique has to be practiced. Then only, not at any other time. While you are falling into sleep, only then. That is the right moment to practice this technique. You are falling asleep. By and by, sleep is overtaking you. Within moments, your consciousness will dissolve. You will not be aware. Before that moment comes, become aware. Aware of the breath and the invisible part prana, and feel it coming to the heart, and go on feeling it is coming to the heart, it is coming to the heart. The prana enters from your heart into the body. Go on feeling, the prana is coming into the heart, and let sleep come while you are continuously feeling it. You go on feeling and let sleep come and drown you. If this happens, that you are feeling invisible breath coming to the heart and sleep takes you over, you will be aware in dreams. You will know that you are dreaming. Ordinarily we don't know that we are dreaming. While you dream, you think this is reality. That too happens because of the third eye. Have you seen anyone asleep? His eyes move upwards and become focused in the third eye. If you have not seen, then see. Your child is sleeping, just open his eyes and feel where his eyes are. His pupils have gone up and they are focused in the third eye. I say, look at children. Don't look at grown-ups. They are not believable. Because their sleep is not deep. They may be just thinking that they are asleep. Look at children. Their eyes move up. They become focused in the third eye. Because of this, that focusing in the third eye, you take your dreams as real. You cannot feel they are dreams. They are real. You will know when you get up in the morning, then you will know that I was dreaming. But this is a later, retrospective realization. You cannot realize in the dreams that you are dreaming. If you realize, then there are two layers. Dream is there, but you are awake. You are aware. And one who becomes aware in dreams, this sutra is wonderful. It says, have direction over dreams and over death itself. If you can become aware of dreams, you can do two things. You can create dreams. One, ordinarily you cannot create dreams. How important man is, he cannot even create dreams. You cannot create dreams. If you want to dream a particular thing, you cannot dream. It is not in your hands. How powerless man is, even dreams cannot be created. You are just a victim of dreams, not the creator. A dream happens to you, you cannot do anything. Neither you can stop it, nor you can create it. But remembering the heart, being filled with pran, continuously being touched by pran with every breath, if you move into sleep, you will become master of your dreams. And this is a rare mastery. Then you can dream whatsoever dreams you like. Just note while you are falling asleep that this dream I want to dream, and that dream will come to you. Just say falling asleep, this dream I don't want to dream, and that dream cannot enter your mind. But what is the use of becoming master of dreaming? Useless. No, it is not useless. Once you become master of dreams, you will never dream. It is absurd. It is absurd. When you are master of your dreams, dreaming stops. There is no need. And when dreaming stops, your sleep has a different quality altogether. And the quality is the same as of death. Death is deep sleep. And if your sleep can become so deep as death, that means there should be no dreaming. Dreaming creates superficiality in the sleep. You move on the surface because of the dreams. Hanging to the dreams, you move on the surface. When there is no dreaming, you just drop into the sea. Its depth is reached. The depth is the same. That's why India has always been saying that sleep is a short duration death, and death is a long sleep. Qualitatively, they are same. It is a day-to-day death. That's a life-to-life death. Or life-to-life sleep. Every day you are tired. You fall into sleep and you regain your vitality, aliveness in the morning. You are reborn. After a life of 70 years or 80 years, you are tired completely. Now such short duration deaths won't do. You need a great death. After that great death or great sleep, you are reborn with a totally new body. Once you can know dreamless sleep and can be aware in it, then there will be no fear of death. No one has ever died. No one can die. That is the only impossibility. And just day before I was telling you, death is the only certainty. And now I say to you, death is impossible. No one has ever died, and no one can die. The only thing impossible in the world is death, because universe is life. You are again and again reborn, but the sleep is so deep that you forget your old identity. Your mind is washed clean of the memories. Think it in this way. Today you are going to sleep. If we have some mechanism, and soon we will have, just as we can wipe out a tape record, wipe clean. So whatsoever is recorded is no more there. The same is possible with the memory, because memory is really just a deep recording. Sooner or later we will find a mechanism we can put on the head, and it cleans your mind completely. In the morning, you are no more the same person, because you cannot remember who went to sleep. Then your sleep will look like a death. There is discontinuity. You cannot remember who went to sleep. This is happening naturally. When you die, when you are reborn, you cannot remember who died. You start again. With this technique, first you will become master of dreams, that is, dreaming will cease. Or if you want to dream, you can dream. But dreaming will become voluntary. It will not be non-voluntary. It will not be forced upon you. You will not be a victim. Then your quality of sleep will become just like that of death. Then you know that death is sleep. That's why this sutra says, have direction over dreams and over death itself. Now you know that death is just a long sleep. And helpful and beautiful, because it gives you new life. Gives you everything anew. Death ceases to be. With cessation of dream, death ceases to be. And another meaning of getting power over death, direction over death. If you can feel that death is just a sleep, now you can direct. If you can direct your dreams, you can direct your death also. Now you can say where I am to be born again. To whom? When? In what form? You become master of your birth also. Buddha died not in his last life, but last but one, before he became Buddha. So he said, I will be born to such and such a parent. Such will be my mother, such will be my father. But my mother will die immediately. When I will be born, my mother will die immediately. When I will be born, my mother will have these dreams. Not only you get power on your dreams, you get power on others' dreams also. So Buddha as a symbol said that these dreams will be there when I will be in the womb. My mother will have these dreams. So whenever any woman has these dreams in this sequence, know well that I am going to be born to her. And it happened. Buddha's mother dreamed the same sequence. The sequence was known all over India because it was no ordinary statement. It was known to everyone, particularly those who were interested in religion and deeper things of life and the esoteric ways of life. It was known. So the dreams were interpreted. Freud was not the first interpreter. And of course not the deepest. In the West he was the first. So Buddha's father immediately called dream interpreters, Freuds and Jungs of those days. And he asked what this sequence means. I am afraid. These dreams are rare. And they go on repeating in the same sequence. 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th. 6 dreams continuously repeating. The same dreams as if you are seeing the same film again and again. What is happening? So they told, you are going to be a father of a great soul. One who is going to be a Buddha. But then your wife is in danger. Because whenever a Buddha is born, it is difficult for the mother to survive. The father asked, why? So the interpreter said, we cannot say why, but this soul who is going to be born has made a statement that when he will be born again, the mother will die immediately. Later on, Buddha was asked, why your mother died immediately? So he said, giving birth to a Buddha is such a big event that everything else becomes futile afterwards. So the mother cannot exist. She will have to be born again, to start anew. It is such a climax, giving birth to a Buddha. It is such a peak that the mother cannot exist beyond it. The mother died. And Buddha has said in his previous life that he will be born while his mother will be standing under a sal tree. And it happened. The mother was standing under a sal tree. Standing, Buddha was born. And he had said that I will born while my mother will be standing under a sal tree. Then I will take 7 steps. Immediately I will walk. These are the signs he had said, I give to you so that you can know a Buddha is born. And he directed everything. And it is not only about Buddha. It is so about Jesus. It is so about Mahavir. It is so about many others. Every Jain Tirthankara has predicted in his previous lives how he is going to born. And they have given particular dream sequence that these will be the symbols and how it will happen. You can direct, once you can direct your dreams, you can direct everything, because dream is the very stuff of this world. This life is made out of the stuff of dreams. Once you can direct your dreams, you can direct everything. This sutra says, over death itself. Then one can give a certain birth, a certain life to oneself. We are just victims. We don't know why we are born, why we die, who directs us, and why. There seems to be no reason. It all seems just a chaos, just accidents. It is because we are not masters. Once we are masters, it is not. Eighth technique, with utmost devotion, center on the two junctions of breath and know the knower. Slight differences in techniques, slight modifications, but they are slight in the techniques. For you, they may be great. A single word makes great difference. With utmost devotion, center on the two junctions of breath. The incoming breath has one junction where it turns. The outgoing breath has another junction where it turns. These two turnings, but we discussed about this technique. A slight difference is made. That is slight in the technique, but for the seeker, it may be great. Only one condition is added, with utmost devotion. And the whole technique becomes different. In the first form of it, there was no question of devotion. Just a scientific technique. You do it, and it works. But there are persons who cannot do such dry scientific techniques. Those who are heart-oriented. Those who belong to the world of devotion. For them, a slight difference has been made. With utmost devotion, center on the two junctions of breath and know the knower. If you are not of the bent of a scientific attitude, if you are not a scientific mind, then try this with utmost devotion. With faith, love, trust. Center on the two junctions of breath and know the knower. How to do this? How? Because you can have devotion about someone, about Krishna, about Christ. You can have devotion. How can you have devotion about yourself, about this juncture of the breathing? The phenomena seems absolutely non-devotional. But that depends. Tantra says the body is the temple. Your body is the temple of the divine, abode of the divine. So don't treat your body as an object. It is sacred, it is holy. And while you are taking a breath in, it is not only you are taking the breath in. It is the divine within you. You are eating, you are moving, walking. Look at it in this way. It is not you, but the divine moving in you. Then the whole thing becomes absolutely devotional. It is said about many saints that they loved their bodies. They treated their bodies as if those bodies belonged to their beloveds. you can treat it. You can treat it just like a mechanism. That again is an attitude. You can treat it as guilt, sin. You can treat it as something dirty. You can treat it as something miraculous, a miracle. You can treat it as the abode of the divine. It depends on you. If you can treat your body like a temple, then this technique will be helpful with utmost devotion. Try it. While you are eating, try it. Don't think you are eating. Think it is the divine who is eating within you. And look the change. You are eating the same thing. You are the same, but immediately everything becomes different. You are giving it to the divine. You are taking a bath. A very ordinary trivial thing, but change the attitude. Feel that you are giving a bath to the divine in you. Then this technique will be easy. With utmost devotion, center on the two junctions of breath and know the knower. Ninth, lie down as dead, enraged in wrath, stay so. Or stare without moving an eyelash, or suck something and become the sucking. Lie down as dead. Try it. Suddenly you have gone dead. Leave the body. Don't move it because you are dead. Just imagine that you are dead. You cannot move the body. You cannot move the eye. You cannot cry. You cannot scream. You cannot do anything. You are just dead. And then feel how it feels. But don't deceive. You can deceive. You can slightly move the body. Don't move. If some mosquito is there, then treat the body as dead. It is one of the most used techniques. One of the most used techniques. Raman attained his enlightenment through this, but it was not a technique for him in this life. In this life it suddenly happened spontaneously. But he must have practiced it in some past life, because nothing happens spontaneously. Everything is a cause link, a causality. Suddenly one night Raman felt, he was just young, 13, 14 or 15. Suddenly one night he felt that he is going to die. And it was so certain in his mind that death has taken over. He couldn't move his body. He felt that as if he is paralyzed. Then he felt a sudden choking. And he knew now the heart is going to drop. He cannot even cry and say to others that I am going to die. Sometimes it happens in some nightmares. You cannot cry. You cannot move. Even when you become awake for a few moments, you cannot do anything. That happened. He had absolutely power over his consciousness, but no power over his body. He knew he was there, present, conscious, alert, but he was going to die. And the certainty became so certain that there was no possibility, so he just gave up. He closed his eyes and remained there just to die, waited there just to die. By and by the body became stiff. The body died. But then it became a problem. He knew that the body has died, and he was there. And he knew it. And he knew it that he is alive and the body has died. Then he came back. In the morning, the body became okay, but the same man never returned, because he had known death, and he had known a different realm, a different dimension of consciousness. He escaped from the house. That death experience changed him completely. He became one of the very few enlightened persons of this age. This is the technique. This happened spontaneously to Raman. It is not going to happen spontaneously to you. But try it. In some life, it may become spontaneous. It may happen while you are trying it. And if it is not going to happen, the effort is never wasted. It is in you, it remains in you. And sometimes as a seed, when the time is ripe and rains fall, it sprouts. Every spontaneity is just like this. Seed was sown sometime, but the time was not ripe. There were no rains. In another life, the time becomes ripe. You are more mature, more experienced, more frustrated with the world. And suddenly, in a certain situation, there are rains and the seed explodes. Lie down as dead, enraged in wrath, stay so. Of course, while you are dying, it will not be a happy moment. It is not going to be so blissful while you are feeling that you are dead. Fear will take you. Anger may come in the mind. Frustration, sadness, sorrow, anguish, anything. It will differ with individual to individual. The sutra says, enraged in wrath, stay so. If you feel enraged, stay so. If you feel sad, stay so. If you feel anxiety, fear, stay so. You are dead, you cannot do anything, so stay so. Whatsoever is in the mind, body is dead, you cannot do anything, stay. That staying is beautiful. If you can stay for a few minutes, suddenly you will feel everything has changed. But we start moving. If there is some emotion in the mind, body begins to move. That's why we call it emotion. It creates motion in the body. If you are angry, suddenly your body begins to move. If you are sad, your body begins to move. That's why it is called emotion, because it creates motion in the body. Feel dead, then don't allow emotions to move your body. Let them be there, stay so. Fixed, dead. Whatsoever is there, no movement. Stay in no movement. Or stare without moving an eyelash. This or stare without moving an eyelash was the method of Meher Baba. For years together, he was staring just at the roof of his room. For years together, just lying dead on the floor, staring at the roof without an eyelash, without moving his eyes. He will lie down for hours together, just staring, not doing anything. Staring with the eyes is good because you become fixed again in the third eye. And once you are fixed in the third eye, even if you want to move the eyelashes, you cannot. They become fixed. Meher Baba attained through this staring. And you say, how? With these small little exercises. But for 3 years he was staring at the roof, not doing anything. 3 years is a long time. Do it for 3 minutes. And you will feel that as if you have been lying there for 3 years. 3 minutes will become very, very long. It will look that time is not passing. The clock has stopped. Meher Baba stared. By and by thought ceased. Movement ceased. He became just consciousness. He became just staring. Then he remained silent for his whole life. He became so silent inside by this staring, it became impossible to formulate words again. Meher Baba was in America. There was one man who could read others' thoughts. Mind reading. And he was really one of the rarest mind readers. He will close his eyes, he will sit before you, and within few minutes he will get attuned with you and he will begin to write what you are thinking. Thousands and thousands of times he was examined and he was always right, always correct. So someone brought him to Meher Baba. So he sat there, and this was the only failure of his life, the only failure. But we cannot say it a failure also. He stared, and he tried and he began to perspire. But he couldn't catch a single word. Pen in his hand. He remained there and he said, what type of man is this? I cannot read because there is nothing to read. This man is absolutely vacant. Even I forget that someone is sitting there. When I close my eyes, I have to open again and look whether that man is there or he has escaped. So it is difficult to concentrate because the moment I close my eyes, I feel that I am being deceived. That man has escaped. There is no one before me. So I have to open my eyes and this man is there. And he is not thinking at all. That staring, that constant staring has stopped the mind completely. Or stare without moving an eyelash. Or suck something and become the sucking. These are slight modifications. Anything will do. Lie dead, enough. Embrace in breath, stay so. Even this part can become one technique. You are in anger, lie down, remain in the anger, don't move from it. Don't do anything. Just remain, stay. Krishnamurti goes on talking about this. His whole technique depends on this single thing. Enraged in wrath, stay so. If you are angry, then be angry and remain in anger. Don't move. If you can stay, anger will go and you will come out a different man. If you are in anxiety, don't do anything, remain there, stay there. The anxiety will go. You will come out a different man. And once you have looked at anxiety without being moved by it, now you will be the master. Or stare without moving an eyelash. Or suck something and become the sucking. This last one is beautiful and easy to do, because sucking is the first thing child has to do. Sucking is the first act of life. When the child is born, he begins to cry. You may not have tried to penetrate why this crying. He is not really crying. It appears to us that he is crying. He is just sucking air. And if the child cannot cry, within few minutes he will be dead. Because crying is the first effort of sucking the air. The child was not breathing while he was in the womb. He was non-breathingly alive. He was doing the same which yogis are doing underground. He was just getting prana without breathing. Pure prana from his mother. That's why the love between the child and the mother is a thing altogether different from other loves. Because the purest prana energy joined both. Now this can never happen again. There was a subtle prana relationship. The mother was giving her prana to the child. And the child was not breathing at all. When he is born, he is thrown out of the mother in an unknown world. Now the prana energy will not be reaching so easily to him. He has to breathe himself. The first cry is an effort to suck. And then he will suck the milk from the mother's breast. These are the first basic acts you have done. Whatsoever you have done is later. These are the first life acts. They can be made. And this sutra says, suck something and become the sucking. Suck something, just suck the air, but forget the air. Become sucking. What is meant? You are sucking something. You are the sucker, not the sucking. You are standing behind and sucking. This sutra says, don't stand behind. Move in the act and become the sucking. Try anything, that will do. You are running. Become the running. Don't be the runner. Become running. Forget the runner. Feel that there is no runner inside. Just the process of running. You are the process. A river-like process. Running. Nobody there inside. Wired inside. And the process. But sucking is good. But you will feel very difficult. because we have forgotten completely. Not completely, because we go on substituting it. Mother's breast is substituted by a cigarette. You go on sucking it. It is nothing but the nipple. Mother's breast and the nipple. And when the warm smoke flows in, it is just like warm milk. So those who were not really allowed to suck mother's breast as much as they wanted will smoke later on. This is a substitute. So, but the substitute will do. While you are smoking cigarette, become the sucking. Forget the cigarette. Forget the smoker. Become smoking. There is the object you are sucking. There is the subject who is sucking. And the process in between of sucking. Become the sucking. Become the process. Try it. You will have to try it with many things. Then you will find out what is right for you. You are drinking water. The cool water is going in. Become the drinking. Don't drink the water. Forget the water and forget yourself and your thirst. Just become drinking. The very process. The coolness, the touch, the entry. Emphasis has to be given to the process. Why? What will happen? If you become the sucking, what will happen? If you can become the sucking, immediately you will become innocent like a first day born child. Because that is the first process. You will be regressed in a way. And the hankering is there. The very being of man hankers after sucking. He tries many things. Nothing helps. Because the point is missed. Unless you become the sucking, nothing will help. So try it. I gave this method to one man. He had tried many things. He had tried many methods. Then he came to me. So I asked him, if I give you only one thing to choose in this whole world, what you are going to choose? And I told him immediately to close his eyes and tell me. Don't think about it. He became afraid, hesitant. So I told him, don't be afraid, don't hesitate. Be frank and tell me. He said, this is absurd. But a breast appears before me. And then he began to feel guilty. So I said, don't feel guilty. Nothing is wrong in a breast. It is one of the most beautiful things. So why be guilty? But he said, this has always been an obsession with me. And he asked me, please tell me first, then you proceed on your method and the technique. First tell me why I am so much interested in the breasts of women. Whenever I look at a woman, the first thing that I see is the breast. The whole body is secondary. And it is not so with him alone. It is so with everyone, almost everyone. And it is natural. Because the breast of the mother was the first acquaintance with the universe. It is basic. The first contact with the universe was mother's breast. That's why breasts are so appealing. They look beautiful. They attract. They have a magnetic force. That magnetic force comes from your unconscious. That was the first thing that you came in contact. And the contact was lovely. It felt beautiful. It gave you food, strength, vitality, love, everything. The contact was soft, receptive, inviting. It has remained so in the mind of man. If you try sucking, so I told that man that now I will give you the method. And this was the method I gave him. Suck something and become the sucking. So I told him, you just close your eyes, imagine your mother's breast or anybody's breast you like. Imagine and start sucking as if there is a real breast. Start sucking. He started sucking. Within 3 days, he was sucking so fast, so madly. And he became so much enchanted by it that he told me that it has become a problem. I want to suck the whole day. And it is so beautiful and so deep silence is created by it. Within 3 months, the sucking became a very, very silent gesture. Lips stopped. You couldn't have judged that he is doing something. But an inner sucking started. He was sucking the whole day. It became a japa, a mantra. After 3 months he came to me and he said, something strange is happening to me. Something sweet is falling from my head on my tongue continuously. And it is so sweet and so energy filling that I don't need any food. There is no hunger left. It has become a formality. I take something not to create any problems in the family, but something is continuously coming to me. It is sweet, life-giving. I told him to continue. 3 months more, and one day he came just mad, dancing to me. And he said, sucking has disappeared, but I am a different man. I am no more the same one who had come to you. Some door has opened within me. Something has broken. And there is no desire left. Now I don't want anything. Not even God. Not even moksha. I don't want anything. Now everything is okay. As it is. I accept it. And I am blissful. Try this. This suck something and become the sucking may be helpful to many. Because it is so basic. This much for today.